You're listening to the Platte River Bard.
Hello, and welcome to the Platte River Bard. This is Chris Berger.
And I'm Sherry Berger.
And we are here today with the Brigit St. Brigit Theatre Company. We are at the First Congregational Church of the
United Church of Christ.
Thank you. And that is Melissa King. She is an actor, and she is in this upcoming show that we're going to tell you about. She's playing Sister James. Also, we have with us, he's playing Father Flynn. He's also the executive director of Brigit St. Brigit. It is Murphy Wolfgar. Once again,
Yay.
Hello.
Thank you, sir,
Hi,
for
yes.
joining us. It's been a while.
Return.
It's lovely to be back.
Yes, and they are doing, of course, Doubt, a parable by John Patrick Shanley.
Yes.
And that starts September 12th, and it runs through September 28th. And, of course, that's directed by their artistic director, Kathy Kurtz.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you
Yes.
for joining us. And thank you, Melissa, finally.
Yeah.
After, like we said, we're sort of passing each other in the hall
We
for
have
years.
been, yeah, for many years.
Finally get to have you on the show. Thank you so
I'm
much.
excited to be here.
Thank
Excellent.
you.
And yes, and we are in church.
We're in church.
We are.
No,
This is,
it's Saturday, so it's
and
very
we didn't
quiet.
catch on fire. So there you go.
That's right.
If we're all standing here, you're
Right.
probably going to be
Yeah.
fine.
I didn't
Well-
know for sure.
And this is where you're putting it on, correct?
Correct.
Correct. Yep.
And a heck of a place to put on Doubt.
Yes.
Perfect place, I would say.
Yeah, I would say, the perfect place. Whose idea was it to select this? And
Kathy.
was it
Yeah.
was it all Kathy? I didn't know you guys had a
Yeah,
committee, or
no.
you guys do stuff together, or
We do. I mean, we talk about things
Sure.
and we throw ideas back and forth and things like that. But mainly Kathy chooses the plays, particularly the plays she directs. Like for years,
Okay,
we've sort of
sure.
split up the season where I'll direct
Yeah.
some and she'll direct some. And then sometimes when I'm directing, I like to write something or devise something or take an older piece and turn it into something newer. But Kathy really likes to do the classics and texts that are sort of created in the classic tradition of the theater.
Yeah.
And this is one we actually have done before. We did it back in 2008.
oh, have you? Okay.
And I directed it, and Kathy was the Meryl Streep role.
oh, she was Meryl Streep.
Sister
Okay.
Aloysius, yeah, she
Sure.
was the head nun, and it was a wonderful experience. It was just a really great production. I was really proud of it. It was probably one of the things I'm most proud of ever having directed.
Cool.
And they were all, the cast was fabulous, and the audience was so engaged. It was.
Oh, that's the best.
I mean, the
Yeah.
nature of the show is
It's a hell of
such
a
that
show.
you're kind of like, we're not definitively, and the playwright isn't definitively telling you what happened.
Yeah.
But certain people are certain
Right.
about certain aspects of what they think happened.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the catalyst for the conflict in the play. But the audience is left to sort of bring their own baggage to the show and then afterward decide for themselves if they, I mean, it's no secret, the priest, my character, is accused
Yes, the setup is yes.
interfering with a child.
Yes, having some sort of quote-unquote relationship
Yes.
or
An untoward
seducing-
relationship. That
Yes.
word is used in the play,
Yes,
seducing.
seducing
Yes.
a student.
Yes.
And of course, he's the Monsignor.
He is not.
He's not the Monsignor.
He's the new priest.
That's right.
Yep.
He's the new priest.
And
He's
for
the new
those of
priest.
you who are down with your Catholic history, it was when Vatican II came in, and so
Yeah.
it was the
Oh,
it was
okay.
the sort of more liberal, sort of relaxed sort of version of the Catholic Church, and so Sister Aloysius, the head, she's the principal of the school at the parish, and she is very much of the old guard. And conservative in her beliefs, and Father Flynn is this new, more liberal, progressive kind of wanting to take the kids out for ice cream and that kind of thing. And so
yeah.
there's immediately an ideological juxtaposition between those two characters.
Right.
But then you add in this other thing, and like the character who I think is, in a lot of ways, I think the play is kind of about is Sister James, to
in
be
a weird
perfectly
way,
honest.
I can kind of agree with that. Yeah.
Because the conflict
Yeah.
is between Sister Aloysius and Father Flynn, but Sister James is in the place of the audience.
Yes.
Having to
Very
make
much.
up her mind based on circumstantial evidence at best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
conversations, independent conversations with both Sister Aloysius
Yes.
and with Father Flynn.
Well, Father Flynn and Sister Aloysius are both set in their beliefs. They're both
Yeah, they're
now
sort of
not at the
yeah.
end of the play, right? I know we have this, we're left with doubt even in the more rigid characters, but they are both opposing forces, but they are set in some senses. And Sister James is the one kind of going along on that ride. I mean, you could argue that the conflict with Vatican II coming in is really what the play is about more, is about that shift in the church.
Shift in the church.
Right? This happens to be the circumstance of this particular priest and this particular student at this particular Catholic school.
Right.
But really, the clashing is over the ideological shift that's happening. And is this more rigid view of faith, all the things that Sister Aloysius says about being the moral guardian and, you know, you're supposed to be set apart, and then versus Father Flynn's view of this, we should be part of the community, we should be inviting them in, we shouldn't be other, we should be with them,
Right, not
with our
sort
community.
of above, yeah, but yeah, on the same level.
And if you take the religious aspect out of it, I can't think of a more perfect play to be doing right now in our society.
yeah,
Like the idea of the nature of truth,
Yeah.
the nature of certainty that is in a certainty that can be devoid of factual information,
yes,
and the power of emotion over
yes,
thought process and judgment and
yes.
Well, emotion, but also bias.
Yes.
And what you've come to the table with, right?
Yes.
Sister Aloysius, I love that character. And, you know, some
Yeah.
people are
And that's
solidly...
that's the if you've seen the movie, that's the Meryl Streep.
That's
character.
the Meryl
Correct.
Streep. That's the
Okay.
head nun.
Right, she's the
And she has such deep conviction, and it's easy, I think, for some people with different biases to come to the table thinking, oh, she's just rigid, she's just mean. And I grew up around people like this, and I come very like, oh my gosh, she's righteous. You know what I mean? Like, you come with these, and it's so interesting as you're playing in the
Yeah.
script even to look at your own, like, oh my gosh, my natural bent is to go one way or the other, and then I have to really think about, oh my gosh, well, what is really going on? What is actual fact? What is just hearsay? What is just circumstantial? And it's a lot to sift through. It's really interesting.
It's one of the great things. I've not seen the play. I have seen the movie, so I'm not sure. Is there a big difference between movie and play?
it's different.
Yeah.
It
Is
is
it?
different.
Okay.
There's like the old saying that movies move and plays talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of dialogue which is omitted from the movie, I found.
Fair.
In some of the speeches and some of the nuance of the writing, which I find to be like really important in terms of the audience taking in the play, and it was not in the movie, which I was like, huh, that's odd that they would remove that, and it felt, the movie to me felt a little heavy-handed. It felt
Yeah.
a little like it was steering you in a direction.
Flattened out that nuance and the
Yes.
ability for the viewer to be the one that's making the decision, that's making up
Yeah.
that space between what's happening in the story and
Yeah.
what's actually being perceived.
Okay.
Because Sister Aloysius can be very funny. Like
Yeah.
she says some really funny things.
I know so many people like Sister Aloysius. I think I'm just so prone to love her because it's just like, I know these people, you know, and like it's
Yeah.
not coming from a place of hatred or judgment, and it can go there, but it's coming from this place of like, we have a job to do and this is really important, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I like how the play leaves you. I like plays. I like stories that leave you at the end to sort of make up your own mind.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think? You know, here's what happened. What do you think?
And I think,
You know,
I
what
think you might
happened
be
next?
more drawn to those types of plays too, just
Yeah.
from the plays that I know that you've done.
Totally.
Kind of the
Yeah.
same way you end up in the same way
Yeah.
you're coming out with your own thoughts.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Anything
you like
that makes
plays
you
that
think.
make people,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't make up their minds for them one way or the
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
about something. There's no soapbox to stand on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it forces you to look at your own baggage and your own bias, like you said, when you come in.
Yeah.
So we used to do talkbacks after every show.
Yes.
Last time we did it. We're going to do it again this
You
time.
doing talkbacks, yes?
And when we did it before, I would ask the audience every night, because I watched the show every night. Like, I directed it, and then it was one of those shows where I just sat back every night and I was like,
Yeah.
watching back and forth.
Watching the audience watch
and
the
it was
show,
so
yeah.
much fun just to it is such a sort of exciting, visceral kind of play in that way. But I would first ask the audience, okay, who thinks he did it?
Yeah.
And like half their hands would go up. Who thinks he didn't do it? The other half
the
would
other
go up.
half.
Who isn't really sure? Very few people. So people,
So they were solidly in one
Yes.
camp or the other.
Most people
Interesting.
were.
And the thing I'm really interested to see this time is how many people are going, because of the world we live in and because of the constant state of rhetoric
been so long.
online, I'm betting there's going to be more people who are going to be in the camp of, I don't know.
want to make that call.
Yeah.
I don't want to raise my hand
I'm
and side
really
with someone.
curious to see how that question is answered this time.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. There is so much misconduct that we hear about all over. Every church, actually.
Yeah.
But, and what's
just
interesting too is to
Yeah.
think about being part of the community as a religious organization. Then that kind of even, goes into what we're dealing with today as well. How much did you let your religious beliefs affect how you are in the community and how you vote and how you portray yourself politically as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be really easy for people to extrapolate the themes outside of religion.
Yes.
Even outside of the scandals that the church has had and all of that stuff, but to be able to just look at the bigger picture of the world we're living in and the way accusations get thrown around, and just in the middle of one of the most polarizing, government, administrations that I can remember in my
Since
lifetime.
I've been alive, yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the war going on in Gaza, and they're just, people are just so either like, I am on this side or I am on this side, and to be able to do a play that forces you to drill right down the middle and look sort of at yourself.
And you watch the Sister James character have conversations on both sides.
Yeah, because she's really sort of the eyes of the audience.
She is.
She's
and
sort of, yeah.
You're forced on her journey to be in the middle for a large section of the play. She does have some lines where she makes a decision one way or the other, although it shifts back and forth a couple of times, right? Where you can tell she's like, oh, well, wait,
Okay.
But I think from an audience standpoint, you're watching her do what I think some people are losing the ability to do, which is have those conversations and actually make up your own mind. She has one-on-one conversations with Sister Aloysius, and she hears all of the motivation underneath what actions that character is taking. And then she has these one-on-one conversations with Father Flynn. And I, as the actor at least, I feel such a true sense of connection to both scenes, because I have we have two scenes in the garden, and one is with her and one is with him. And there's true connection in both of them. So it's not this very easy, slice it down the middle, be in one camp or the other. These are humans that she's having conversation with. These aren't ideologies that she's stuck between, even though she is. These are humans she's stuck between, and she has a relationship with both of them.
Oh, I think it's a great show.
Well, and so appropriate for where you are too. I mean, it all
Yeah.
works out.
Yeah.
Did you borrow costumes from downstairs?
No, the
I don't suppose they're
wonderful
all-
Charlene Willoughby is doing our costumes, and most of which are being pulled from UNO.
Yep.
But we did buy pieces
Yeah.
straight up from Catholic church retailers and
Yeah.
stuff when we did in 2008, and we kept them.
Sure. Oh, good.
So we have
good.
them again for
Nice.
this
That's good.
production. Yeah.
Who is your sister Aloysius?
Delaney Driscoll.
Delaney Driscoll.
Who I love.
In fact, so you have. I'm sorry. I thought there was 4.
There is, and that's the fourth character is the mother of the boy who I'm accused of.
That's right, the mother of the boy. Okay.
And that
Arguably
is
my
and
favorite scene in the play.
She has one scene in the play. It's the biggest scene in the play.
Okay.
And it's you can't say like much without giving it away. Lisa Israel is playing that role, and she's just doing a wonderful job. But it's Sister Aloysius calls her in, expecting an ally, like looking for ammo against Father Flynn.
Okay.
And let's just say she doesn't get what she thought she was going
Doesn't
to
go
get.
as
Definitely an
expected.
unexpected
And as an audience
conversation.
member, I remember like the first time I read it, and then
Yeah.
even at night, like when I would watch it, when we did it before, the audience would audibly gasp. There's a moment where she says something, and the
Yeah.
audience just goes, "Oh," and they're like, "What happens now? Like what?"
Once again, it is solidly more complicated than you want to make it.
Yes,
Yes.
it's not just a cut and dry. Oh well, they're going to act this way because I think. I know
And you
what's
take
gonna
that
happen.
scene out of the play, and the play does not work. Like the whole play is
100%.
really carefully constructed, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
And it's very spare. There's not like a
Yes.
lot to it. But it's just these a lot of times quiet conversations, and but they're so interesting and they draw you in. And then this scene sort of not only explodes Sister Aloysius's reality, but I think the audience, in terms of their expectation and
Yes.
like being used to a certain structure in narrative fiction,
Yeah.
and it throws this curveball at you, and you have to be like,
You have to
okay,
sit with it.
what do I do with that information?
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful,
It's really amazing.
It's
Yeah.
a wonderful scene, and it's a wonderful piece. And then right after that, there's this big confrontation. The first time Father Flynn and Sister Aloysius go head to head.
Really go at
So
it, okay.
she has to sit with that information, and then boom, there's fireworks, and so it's
Yeah.
it's a really cool piece.
It's a really interesting scene to read as a parent. Reading it as a mother, I'll just say, I also was like, what? For the first time. When you read the play for the first time, it was like, I would never react that way. And then you're like, actually, oh man, that's a lot more complicated. It was very interesting to me
Interesting,
reading it
yeah.
as a mom, because it's this mother character. And I think there's so many assumptions about how a mother will react
Yeah.
to certain
Oh,
things.
yeah.
And it's just not always that simple.
Yeah.
It's almost like the play is daring you to judge somebody.
Yes.
And every time you think you're ready to judge them, it says, well, what about this?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh wait,
Yeah.
am I judging the right person? Should I be judging the other one?
And back to the church setting, we're using the natural architecture of the church as the play.
Yeah. Which
So
is
we're not building
really
a set, and
brilliant.
we're using the space as it's intended. So this room that we're sitting in right now is a room that actors will come and go from, that you'll see right into. Like,
okay.
this is just another part of
Oh,
the church.
neat.
So it
Okay.
is like having the coolest,
Yeah.
set
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So
imaginable.
you've got to set your chairs up a certain way for them to be able to see in here.
Yeah, they're going to be. We
Yeah.
pulled them in. You can see the risers behind us. They're super
Right.
close to where the action is, and
Okay.
then we're right here. And then all of this area
Nice.
is the play space.
Kind of
That's
similar,
great.
kind of
Yeah.
similar setup to.
I love how it's always imagined and set up. It's so different, and I really appreciate that artistic.
kind of a similar setup to a conversation with God. How it was kind of in the church and around, and kind of around you as you were
Yes.
Yeah.
just sitting there and all that.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's just. Cool
I can't
as
think
hell,
of
man.
anywhere that I've been like that, to be honest.
I love
I
it.
don't know that I've seen a production.
Yeah, I love immersive
Like that.
theater.
Me too.
That
Yeah.
doesn't interfere with the audience. Like,
Right.
don't, audience
It's not
members
like
don't want to be bothered.
Messing with the audience. Yeah, yeah.
But
Or
when
put
you-
on the spot, right? They don't want the gotcha
No.
Right.
thing.
yeah, exactly.
But when you can bring them in like a fly on the wall and feel like the
Yes.
world
Yeah.
is just happening around them, that something
The play is
special
happening
happens.
around us. Yes, that's
Yeah.
really cool. No, that's yeah, and that's what you guys are basically set up for here, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that, and
great
it's just
space.
it's such an intimate show, and I don't know what I say. It's a confrontational show, but as far as like ideas and assumptions and stuff, it's very confrontational.
Yes.
Yeah.
In that way, because like you said, you think you know how. Oh, I know how this character's gonna.
Yeah.
Of course they're gonna say,
Yeah.
"Oh no, they didn't say that." Yeah.
Yeah, it's a challenging show,
Yeah,
but in the
challenging.
best way.
Yeah.
It's like not like heavy, like you feel burdened by the drama.
Yeah.
It's like you
Right.
feel excited by it, and your synapses are firing through the whole thing, and I think it's really like an intellectual action movie. So much is happening in every scene that makes you go, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. No. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I think, oh, no, I don't. Wait a minute.
Yeah, you could change opinion many times each scene and probably not be alone. Other people around you would be doing the same thing.
As you hear literally hear everybody thinking all around you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
I think this won a Pulitzer.
Yes, I think it did.
I believe that's correct.
Yeah.
I believe
It's
that
just
is correct.
it really is a masterful piece of writing.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, which is probably why you got the two actors you got who did
Yeah.
it for the movie.
Yeah.
Although didn't
All four of them. I mean, Amy Adams and Viola Davis
and
too.
then Amy Adams, Viola Davis.
I love Viola.
Yeah.
And didn't one or more of them
They were nominated. I'm not sure if they
Do
won or not.
I don't
do
remember.
the play version? Didn't one or more of them do the play version?
Oh, that I don't know.
At
Oh,
one point?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I'll take a look here. It did also win a Tony.
Yeah.
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 Nominations. Well, yeah, of course. Lots of
Yeah,
nominations.
nominated for all kinds of shit.
2005.
Is it 2000? God, has it been that long?
I know.
Jeez.
I know.
And then there was a Broadway revival in 2024.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
with
going to say there was a
Liev
recent.
Schreiber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love him.
Oh,
he's phenomenal.
He's good.
I think that's one of my favorite things about working at Brigit St. Brigit. Kathy always picks plays because you've
Yeah.
only technically directed me once at a fireside, which
Yeah.
was like pared down. It was a little different. Like in
Yeah.
a full production, I've really only been directed by Kathy at BSB, but at least for her plays, like she always picks things that are masterfully written. I don't think I've been in a single piece here that I'm like, oh well, the writing, or like, oh well, it's okay. You know what
but
I mean?
people
Like,
love the show.
yeah, right. Like there's always so much meat to sink your teeth into as an actor. It's like, oh, it's just a playground.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah,
And there's an opera too that they based off the play. That's interesting.
Really?
An opera,
A film
really?
and an opera.
I
I
kind of
did
want to look
not
that up.
know that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Make it
says-
interesting. A sort of modern opera.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Opera
based
is
on
the
the play.
Wild West, man. It's amazing.
Opera is amazing. The more you look at it, and we get to talk with Opera Omaha every now and again,
Oh, they're
and we get to
wonderful.
talk with them about all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff that they're doing, and
Some of the stuff they do is amazing.
I'm blown away.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Absolutely.
there's so much more to it than you're just the sort of surface level what
Yeah.
we think of.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It
Yeah.
is.
But yeah, this was an opera. It says commissioned by the Minnesota Opera.
That's
Premiered
awesome.
in 2013 with music by Douglas Cuomo. Como?
So interesting.
Cuomo.
Cuomo?
And a libretto by Shanley, who would have written the play.
Oh yes, okay.
So Shanley
Oh,
wrote the
wow.
libretto.
Well, I really want to look that
If
up.
this information is
Oh,
correct.
fun.
Interesting.
That is really interesting.
yeah.
He
Well,
writes
it was
and
quite
he writes.
popular.
Trying to imagine it in my mind.
As an opera,
Yeah.
I know,
Yes.
I know.
It's so delicately conversation heavy. I wonder how it would translate into a medium like that. I come from the world of musical
Yeah.
theater, so it's like an interesting, like, how do you, it feels like reverse engineering almost.
It
to
does.
go
It's like the
that
play
way.
works because we're pulling them in. We're making them lean forward. Opera seems like it's about pushing it out.
Right.
So it's a really different dynamic. Like
Yeah.
the act of doing it. That would be really interesting.
Completely different experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'd love to see it.
Who knows? Maybe Opera Omaha will have it.
Who knows?
There you go.
Hey,
They have so many
We'll have to take a
wonderful
field
things.
Well-
trip if that happens.
As long as nobody breaks out into song during this one, I think we'll be
I
okay.
don't think you can expect that.
Frosty the Snowman.
A
man.
little bit, just a
That's
little
all.
bit. That's so funny.
Once again, another quality production from Brigit St. Brigit.
Thank you.
So-
Thank you.
Really excited about all of it. I don't know what you have planned for your season yet. Have you announced?
We don't do a season anymore. We
You're
do
not
a
doing
show at a
season.
time.
Okay.
Yep.
Are you
We're doing a different model for theater.
Okay.
Okay.
We over the last few years, ever since the pandemic, like things changed and like we lost spaces and so we couldn't do a show and
Right.
this happened and
Right.
then and because we don't have a home, we're a nomadic sort of company.
Sure.
We mostly do things here. I think people kind of associate us with this space because Kathy likes to produce in here and we have such a nice relationship with the church and
Yeah.
they've been really welcoming to us and
They really
and-
have.
Yeah, and it's just such a cool open space to use.
is.
Yeah.
But we have decided that moving forward, we're doing fewer shows so we can focus more on the quality of the shows instead of the quantity of the shows, so we can give the actors enough rehearsal time, which means a little more lead time.
My.
And it gives us the opportunity to choose plays that may be a little more topical instead of trying to plan a whole season.
Let you be a little more agile.
Say,
so
this
things
is
happen or
like
whatever.
after this show, like we had this conversation about this thing, and it really got me thinking about this other piece, and that might be a cool show to do next. And so let's look at that. And so
Instead of being committed to something else.
it was scary
Yeah.
at first because people kind of expect there to be like
The
you
season
announce a
announcement,
season.
yeah.
Right, what are you doing
And
this
then you
season?
sell
Yeah.
season tickets to get a little bit of pre-sale going so that
Yeah.
you can fund the first show. So it sort of changes that paradigm.
It does.
But we really, we maintain such a low overhead because we don't have a space,
Right.
and we do funnel all of our money into the people. So we pay our actors, and we pay our designers, and we pay everybody.
That's great.
And that's our first line of business.
Love that.
And so, like when I do shows, like you've seen me do shows at different spaces, I try to do them as like pared down as possible. And I've gotten a lot into using video backgrounds and stuff like that instead of having to build a set. And
Cool.
but I've even gotten a little more like I'm taking a little break from directing for a little while, and focusing back on acting, which is something I haven't done.
Been a while.
Yeah, I was going to take a break from theater actually until the last production we did was
Yeah.
Faith Healer in the spring, Brian Friel play.
I still can't believe we got you to come do that play. I was like over the moon when I heard you were in on that one.
And I was like, Kathy asked me to do it, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. It's like it had been since 2005. I played Hamlet when we did it at BSB. When we were still at the College of St. Mary at that point. And that was the last time, 2005 was the last time that I just acted. Like I wasn't also being the director and doing the set and the lights and
Right.
producing, and I was just acting, which is how I came to this whole art in the first place, as an actor.
Yeah.
And so we did Faith Healer, and we had such a good time doing it, and it really kind of rekindled my love of acting, of just digging in that way.
Well, and it's Brian Friel. Like you can't get better than that to
Yeah,
dive back
his words
in.
are just wonderful.
It's stunning.
And there's not a lot of people that I trust to direct me, and Kathy is one of those people. And so and because of the workload, we divided up like the directing duties. So when she was directing, I was doing something else, and then I would direct or do that. But rarely was I free when she was directing, and so pairing up again for Faith Healer, and it was the first time Melissa and I had worked together, even though it was all monologues. We didn't really interact on stage.
No.
Okay.
It really sort of rekindled my love of doing that. So we're looking at the season now in a very different way, where Kathy's we're gonna maybe do 3 shows a season, but they're gonna be really well thought out, and we're gonna be really mindful in casting and in every aspect of the production. And if we do something as ambitious as Shakespeare again, which we'd love to get back to because we haven't done it for a while, we've done a lot of Shakespeare over 30 years.
Before my time with BSB, so I'm over here in the corner shouting loudly, being like, "Let me do Shakespeare! Let me do Shakespeare!"
It requires a lot more rehearsal time. So
Yeah.
so we can
I
take
can see
that
that.
time, and we can do that.
Yeah.
And so we're sort of retraining our audience, and our core audience is just wonderful. Like they just
Yeah.
they
They're
they
faithful.
know
That a loyal
like when we put something on,
audience.
it's going to be a quality show. Like we
Yeah.
work really hard to make it. Like we're always swinging for the fences.
Yes.
Yeah.
that
We're
is
never
well done.
phoning it in. We're never.
Yeah.
We just. It's all about the work. We don't go out and play afterwards or anything. We just like everybody
No.
comes. We work for hours, then we go home and we come back and we work more. And it's so. I mean, I personally love working like that.
Yeah.
Like, just immersing yourself in the work
Yeah.
like that.
I had one production with Kathy one time where I think I was called to every single rehearsal for the whole rehearsal process. Just the nature of when I was on stage. It just happened that way, right?
Sure.
And she started apologizing to me about 2/3 of the way through the process. And Melissa's going to be here every night, you know. And I stopped her and I was like, Kathy, we can joke about this all you want, but you know that it's like my absolute privilege to be here every night working on this, you know, and it's so fun to get in a room with other people who feel that way, right? There's that desire that everybody wants to be there and everybody's swinging for the fences in the same way. There's nobody around BSB that phones in anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it was just sort of a transition period of just allowing us to sort of accept that we're not like a traditional theater company.
No.
Like it really is. Brigit St. Brigit has always been sort of an individual artistic expression, whether that was Kathy's or mine.
Yeah.
We were pretty much always directing, or I was always on stage, and it was always, and we have all these wonderful actors who work with us, and we have a sort of informal repertory company of faces you see again and again and again because they like working the same way. So Brigit St. Brigit would not be anything without those people, without people like Melissa or Eric Griffith, who's stage managing the show, who's been in a ton of our shows.
Yeah.
But it is, when it comes down to that sort of direction, like I want to do this play, and I want to do it this way, and that's really been a sort of like I said, kind of a transition period to saying, okay, this is just who we are. And this is how we do it. So we don't need to try to keep up with everybody else. We don't need to put 5 shows out a year, or people are going to think we're obsolete. Or you know, it's just like we're going to do a play when we're moved to do the play, and it's gonna, when you come, you can be sure that whether you like the piece or not, it will be done well.
It's going to be well done.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Whether
In
you
every
agree,
aspect,
quote unquote, with the material or not, or whatever. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so part of that is giving ourselves space to do that, to say, okay, we want a little more time on this. Or like with Doubt, it was like the idea came to Kathy, you know, she was like, okay, so, you know, we need to get going in like a month. Like from bang, I want to do this show, to first rehearsal is basically like 30 days, which is not a lot of time to prepare for a show. And then the marketing of it, and the, you know, which is just done by us.
Yeah.
You know, there's nobody else doing it.
I know.
So it's like, okay, instead of trying to do that 5 times a year and burning ourselves out, let's do it fewer times, but lean into the idea that it's sort of like an artisan thing.
Yeah.
It's like an IPA. It's like, you know, it's a different flavor, and it's really unique, and it's its own thing, and that's okay.
Well, it's art without the pressure of the business model pushing it. So I would think that it would be even more of an expression.
It allows us to really revel in it. Yeah. You can revel in all the aspects of it. And I don't know.
No, it's
the
great.
space you need.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, and speaking of being a regular and a familiar face here, how long you've been doing stuff here for a while? What number of production is this for you?
I'd have to count. I think
can you even think?
It's something like 8, I think, now.
Sounds
it's
right.
funny. It makes me sound like such a regular, and I feel like BSB audiences are probably getting tired of my face.
Oh, I bet not.
But it's funny because around BSB, so many of these people have worked with Kathy for 20 years, 25 years, 15 years. You know, I feel like such a newbie around here. A lot of the actors that I'm getting to work with now, it's like, oh yeah, Kathy and I have known each other and I'm like, well, I started in 2019, so I'm on like year 6. Like I'm the new kid on the block around here. But I absolutely just fell in love with how Kathy works, and how much she made me better. The first play I did with Kathy, she just like 180'd my whole life just as an actor. She just took the time to really dig deep, and it's not a slight on anything. I just had never had a director do that before. She just dove so deep, and she pushed me because she knew she could, and she just said, hey, there's more to find in that. Like, you're fine. That monologue or that scene is fine. You can go out there and be fine, or we can dig down a little further, and you can actually do something better than fine. And it was like, do I get permission to go do that?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's
Well,
That's
and
the thing, right? That's the magic. So
and into
I
what
was
you're
sold.
saying, you guys take time, your little time. You guys allow the time.
Mm-hmm.
She allows the time.
Yeah.
Well, and both of you, and also a testament to regulars,
Yeah.
people that keep coming
Mm-hmm.
back because.
And there are actors.
Because why? Because they're having a great time.
They are, and
Why?
and because it's like it's a real neurodivergent thing too. I
Yes.
think like my ADHD brain, and there's a certain way of working that stimulates me in a way that, like we've talked about this before,
Yes,
that sort
we
of
have.
calms down that
Yeah.
hamster wheel.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
my
it-
brain
but-
goes quiet.
And it's like tinkering with every word of every
Yeah.
line and going like that sort of into the minutia of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of actors who I greatly respect and I think are wonderful who hate doing that.
yes.
Yes.
Who want a broader direction and then they want to be able to do their art in their way and that's totally cool.
That's fine.
But I think that we have built this company around people who have this particular bent.
Style.
Yeah.
For sure.
And really like that. And so it really does help you develop a second language.
100%.
And then everybody's sort of like when 15 minutes of note time is spent on like the
Yes.
inflection of this thing, and if you go up at the end of the sentence instead of going down, it's going to do this other thing, and then that's going to give you an opportunity to do this 2 lines later. And
it's always because of the orchestration of the music of the piece,
Yeah.
right? Kathy talks about this a lot, where it's like, yes, but either you need a juxtaposition for what's coming after it, or it's just choosing the more interesting choice, right? Well, if the music does this in this line, think about what it does to the emotion that the character is experiencing at that moment. And again, I know some actors who would hate it too.
Yeah.
You know, it's a strong flavor of like, if you understand it
No,
and
that
if
makes
you
sense
love
to
it,
me.
you're going to dive in and be like,
It's
this
interesting.
is
She
the
talks
thing.
about dialogue like music.
yes, very much.
See, Carlin talked about his comedy like music.
yes,
And that made, as soon as he said that, I'm like, I know exactly what he's talking
Yeah.
about. It makes 100% sense to me. And now I hear it in everything.
that's funny that you say that. The
It's
most
unbelievable.
like listening to Mark Maron's podcast, or
Yes.
even just listening to interviews with different comedians, like Chris Rock or Jerry Seinfeld or
Mm-hmm.
whoever they are. Like the one thing that fascinates me and that I always relate to is the way they talk about the specificity of like using their voice.
Yes.
Yes.
And working out material, like they go work out material like in smaller clubs, and one night they'll give it a little more on this word, or they'll give it a little more on that word, or they'll add this word in, and it's that specific.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's a craft, and they craft it, and out of all the other artists that I've listened to, musicians and painters and comedians are the ones who, when I hear them talk, I most go, yeah, that totally
Yes.
that totally describes
Yeah.
the way I look at this.
They
And
have
all I
that
can-
routine, yeah.
All I can hear in my head when you say that too is the Steve Martin skit with "What the hell is that? What the hell is that?" Like,
And they
all
said
the
it like
ways that you
50
say it.
times.
Yes.
And it was
And it was
different and
funnier.
hilarious
Yeah.
every time.
It
Yes.
was.
We do that to each other all the time.
Yeah.
Like children are
Yeah.
developing a love for Steve Martin right now through some of the old movies from like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Oh, yeah.
They're developing this love of his comedy, and I'm so proud. Every
wonderful.
time they laugh at something that I'm
Yes.
like, yes, it's like Dick Van Dyke and Steve Martin and all these classic people that I'm like, yes,
Yes,
yes, raising them right.
They're still funny. It's still funny.
Yeah.
The
Definitely
old stuff is still funny. Because it's classic, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's classic
it
stuff.
holds up.
It does.
But no, I love it. No, the inflection, yes. But I just think it's cool. You guys, especially now, you guys are giving yourselves the room to
Yeah.
sort of
Breathe.
be
Yeah.
even more creative. Because I mean,
Yeah.
you're right. I've been in that grind where what the word of the day is. What brilliance takes. what a week less than what you have to put on,
Always.
or something like that.
Eternally.
Yeah.
Even
You're
when you
always
give
like,
yourselves
if we just had
time.
one more
Yes.
week, it's
Yeah.
like
That does not go away.
No.
That does not go away when you extend the rehearsal period.
Exactly.
When we did
Exactly.
Faith Healer, I told Kathy, I was like, I could rehearse this play for a year.
Yeah.
And I would still feel like I
It's
wasn't
still-
ready. There would be more
Yeah.
to look
Yeah.
at. There would be more to dig into. So,
But it is-
unfortunately, I
yes.
wish that went away.
But it is nice that more than your average amount of time,
Yes.
especially for the sort of
Yeah.
thoughtful pieces that you intentionally go after.
Yeah.
It's not like you're doing, some kind of fluff piece and you're giving it that amount of time. You know what I mean? It's you're intentionally going after thought-provoking pieces
Yeah.
to take time on them,
Yeah.
to make them as thought-provoking as they should be,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
as an actor, don't always get that.
No, you
You
don't.
A lot of time it's like, all right, we got 5 weeks, let's go. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
gosh, okay.
And that's okay too,
Yeah.
right? That develops a different set of muscles.
It does.
As
And
an
that-
actor, it's not
That-
a
that's
bad
right.
thing.
That is true.
But when you have the luxury of getting to
It does,
dive
and that's-
You
deeper
get to
and
work in
longer.
a different way.
Yes, and it's not like that's the thing. It's like that's the tricky thing about talking, I think, about art or about the
Yes.
way you approach art, like as an individual, because it always becomes this sort of comparative thing.
My
where-
way is better than yours.
Yeah, where people fall into that. Oh, well,
Yeah.
because this person's saying this, that means this is bad. No, it doesn't mean that.
No.
Like you can look at like old school Shakespeare and the spontaneity of it and the creativity of it and
Yeah.
the way the audience is able to enjoy it. It's such a different thing.
Yes.
And it's so valid next to rehearsing every word and every
Yes.
line over and over and
Yes.
over again to make something that is just every night the same show for the audience.
Yeah.
But that we know it so well that we can just really let it rip and not be like, when we get to the performance, it's like you cease to be a technician and you start being a
human.
painter or something. Yeah, you start just being.
Yeah, you start just
And,
being,
and
and that's
you've
that's the
done
drug.
all that
Yeah.
work so much that you can just forget about it and it just happens
Just go and do it.
in that moment.
Yeah. So this dates.
Oh, yes.
We should probably talk about dates.
Have I taken? Oh, yes. Okay, so of course, you are having this at, and say it for me, please.
First Central Congregational Church,
Yes.
36th and
Harney.
Harney.
Harney, 36 in
36 in
Harney.
Harney, yeah.
And that is where the play will be put on. Mm-hmm. And that is going to be starting on September 12th and running through September 28th. You guys doing like Friday, Saturday, Sundays?
Yep, Friday, Saturday at 7:30, Sunday at 2.
Sunday
Yep,
at 2.
matinees on Sunday.
Yes. Thank you for
Yeah.
taking the time to talk to us about this. I
Yes.
think it's just
Thank
gonna
you.
be
Thank
really
you. This was
fabulous.
lovely. Thanks
was
for
always
letting
lovely
us.
talking to you.
Lovely
Yeah.
always talking to you as well.
I feel like both of us are humans who could talk for 4 hours about art and never stop.
I know, this was
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
That's why we
and,
podcast.
and thank you so much, Melissa, for finally. We
I know.
We finally get to
Thank
talk to
you.
you after sort of passing each other forever.
I've been promoted.
Hey! All right, that's right. Doubt. That is starts September 12th and goes to September 28th. Brigit St. Brigit. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
For tickets to Doubt, a Parable, go to bsbtheatre, theatre.com. The show will be running from September 12th through the 28th at the First Central Congregational Church in Omaha. Thank you for listening and supporting the arts in the Platte River area and beyond. Please subscribe to our podcast so you are sure to catch all of our future episodes and join us on social media. See you next time on the Platte River Bard.